everybody. Diabetes is linked to the top killers, including heart disease and stroke. And as we mentioned before the break, millions of people don't even realize they are diabetic. That's why it's important to get screened. We'll get the results of our audience member in just a minute. She was tested before the show. But here to tell us about free screenings coming up soon, please welcome HEB pharmacist Gina Eubank. Hello, Gina. We like that word, free.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that if people don't have diabetes, they may not be thinking about how critical this is. We all suffer because of it in terms of lost productivity, cost of medical care, the whole bit. I'm just going to ask audience members, how many of you know somebody who's diabetic? Okay, just about everybody. So it's at epidemic proportions.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And the thing to me that is so shocking is that 1 in 4 people are walking around and they're not even aware that they have diabetes.
Yeah, by the time they find out they have it, they've had some pretty severe symptoms, a lot of people.
Exactly, and the other thing that people do not realize is when your blood sugar is high, even if you're not having symptoms and, you know, like where you're fainting or sweating or anything like that, you're still damaging your organs.
Yeah. Eyesight, yeah, circulation, which, you know, damages all of your organs. But that's okay, Gina, because I can just take some medicine.
Yeah, well, no. That's not a winning strategy. I know you know that.
Well, and the thing, too, is kind of interesting. You have type 1 diabetes, which we usually find usually in children, and that's only about 5% of the cases. And then type 2 diabetes, which we used to call adult onset, which is now we stopped doing that because we see kids with it.
Exactly, and 95% of people, they do have that type 2, and you know, let's back up on what exactly diabetes is, because diabetes is when the pancreas releases insulin. Okay, so you eat something and you've got glucose in your, which is sugar, but what people forget is potatoes, rice, you know,
yeah, you don't just have to worry about sugar. It's all the other things that convert to sugar.
It's the carbohydrates. And so you have that glucose, and it signals to your pancreas, oh, release insulin, because insulin has the key to let the glucose into the cells. Okay, do the analogy of if you have a big house, like, you know, as in your body, and your cells are all the people in the house, and you've got to feed everybody in your house, well, guess what? The insulin guy's running around, and he has to help each glucose get in a cell. Well, if you've got a big house, he's going to be running around a lot, okay? And so, you know, that's why obesity is such a huge risk factor
in fact, a lot of times people, if they're obese and they lose even as little as 10 pounds, it can make a difference in whether they've got a presence of that type 2 diabetes or not.
Dramatic, and it'll help decrease the amount of medication that they take. They'll feel better because, you know, with a lot of these medications, there's a trial and error, and, you know, people don't always feel great when they're trying to tweak it, and, you know, and you have to change that mindset where you look at food as medicine.
Right.
And if people would look at food as medicine prior, then, you know, since 95%
whole foods, balanced foods, and even though you're a pharmacist, your thought is if you don't have to take medicine, I don't want to see you. If you do have to take medicine, for the most part, hopefully it's just a temporary thing to get you to the point where you can, your body can sustain itself.
Exactly. You know, when you come to the pharmacy and you get medicine, I would love for each person to evaluate and say, okay, this can get me through this current medical situation, but is there anything I can do on my part to help this situation? And shop in the grocery store. You know, we ask questions, find out how to read labels, and, you know, HEB, they have on their labels where they have hearts on their own brand, where it's healthy for your heart. They have a diabetes.
Yeah, because this is one of those ones that, again, at type 2, this is one of those ones that conceivably you can get rid of.
You can get rid of, or at least minimize your amount of medication.
Right,
I mean, you are definitely an active participant when you have diabetes. It's a lifetime.
Okay, well, let's talk about the fact that you got to know first.
Yes.
And you all have these free screenings of Spring into Wellness, so tell us what that consists of.
Okay, it's on Saturday, second Saturday of every month through October, and it's from 9 until 12, and it's at all the HEB pharmacies here in Houston, and we will do glucose and blood pressure for free.
Okay.
And then total cholesterol, where it gives you your HDL, your LDL, and triglycerides, $3.99.
Yeah, see, and as long as you know, then you know how to start reversing that and getting healthy. All right, Tina is the audience member that you tested a little bit earlier. And Tina, so come on up here, because we're going to find out what her results are. And a number of questions that you would normally ask, just like a physician would normally ask, would be things like, oh, come on up, come on over, all right?
All right.
You know, family history, all those types of things.
So I asked Tina if, she had any family members, and
I had a grandmother.
Okay.
And all my dad's people are diabetic.
Okay, so your grandmother, that was back in the day when they said, oh, she got the sugar.
Yeah,
she got the sugar,
Yeah.
exactly. And Tina, she hasn't tested her sugar in about 4 years.
Okay.
And I asked her if she'd eaten any breakfast or had anything. She hasn't even had water, poor thing. She
Yeah.
which we had a discussion about that.
Yeah.
And her number came out to 117 fasting.
Now, what does that mean?
Okay, 117, it's not a bad number. Okay, you want to keep it under 120. Okay, if you haven't eaten. Okay, so you're on the higher level. Most people are under 100. So it's something that you need to be cognizant, and I would take full advantage of HEB's second Saturday screenings, and it's every second Saturday of every month through October, and you can just swing by and check out HEB's, because you saw how easy the HEB meter was to use, and it's very inexpensive. Just push a button and
Inexpensive, quick, and painless.
yeah. Oh, did it hurt?
No.
Yeah.
Did not hurt.
And let me tell you, diabetes would hurt more anyway.
And it hurts your pocketbook too.
Yeah, diabetes would. Yeah, absolutely.
Diabetes, they have found that a diabetic patient spends 42% more annually than a regular patient. That's a chunk of
And again, we're
change.
talking about what it can bring on: nerve damage, kidney damage, vision problems, heart disease, depression, amputation.
Oh yeah,
and oftentimes
biggies.
death. Yeah.
Biggies.
All right. Well, congratulations to you. So
Yeah,
maybe
thank
get
you.
those numbers down.
Get those numbers down.
All right. And Gina, thank you very
Thank you.
much. For more on the screening, go to heb.com/pharmacy, heb.com/pharmacy. When we come back, we're taking to the streets on our bikes, some of the city's best pedal spots, great for the whole family because exercise is a great part of dealing with diabetes as well.